as I stay and move up into a,
Right, yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Like I said, if we had somebody that was on planning commission for just a couple of years, brand new, and then we had a vacancy, that might be one type of situation that would be a little bit concerned with not knowing the process.
yeah,
And the roles, alternates fit in these, and they understand the roles and responsibilities of those committee members.
Yeah.
I won't die on the sword either way. I don't even know if I can say that. Any more thoughts, council?
I think it's fine the way it is right now. I mean, I know there's a lot of interest. So are the people that are on the board, they're interested. I mean, otherwise they'd be stepping down.
I agree with Scott.
And I think we're really fortunate to have that level of interest. I
Yeah.
think Diane said it never happened before, you know.
Sure.
Not in a very, very, very long time.
Okay. Any more discussion? Roll call.
Michael Hillman,
Yes.
Scott Pennell,
Yes.
Chuck Harmon,
Yes.
Bob Boland,
Yes.
John Curtis,
Yes.
Art Cacavelli,
Well, I didn't hear a lot of discussion, but yes.
Jim Clark.
Yes.
All right, motion passes. Finance officer, down, and we'll move to the city administrator.
Mayor and council, you have my report with 2 requests for action, please.
Okay, do I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve the proposal from Ramey Environmental Compliance Inc. in the amount of $4,139.92 per month to provide oversee operator responsible in charge duties for the water and wastewater system, as well as weekly construction meetings, services.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion.
I had a question about I think we have dealt with this company before, haven't we?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay, all right. That probably alleviates a lot of the issue, but I didn't see an end. You know, a lot of contracts will say, valid from this date through, say, December 31st or something like that. And I just didn't, very simple, basically 2-page contract. And I assume since we've done work with them before, we'll give them a week's or 2's notice, something to that effect, to bring the contract to termination.
Yes, and there will be an agreement with services that will accompany this proposal. It just wasn't received back from them in time, but we wanted to get his proposal to this meeting. But it will have the standard agreement for services that we have for the other action item here.
Sounds good.
Greg Ramey's been around for years and years and years, and he does a good job. He does quite a few communities, large ones and small ones.
But John, I'm glad to hear that. It's really good that we have somebody like that we can call on.
And we do have operators that are gonna be, he's just the oversight and the person with the license. So we've got the operators that are gonna just continue to run the plants. Any more questions?
I can't hardly hear what you guys are talking about, so I do have a question. I'm not quite sure about this Community Matters Institute. Are they being hired as a contractor to take the place of what Ellen would be doing?
Now, are you talking about the planner? Yeah, we're not even there. Let's get there, or let's finish this one up and we'll talk about that when we get to the planner.
I can hardly hear what you guys are saying, so tell me when you're finished so I can ask my question.
Okay. All right, can I get a roll call, please?
Michael Hillman,
Yes.
Scott Pennell,
Yes.
Chuck Harmon,
Yes.
Bob Boland,
Yes.
John Curtis,
Yes.
Art Cacavelli,
Yes.
Jim Clark.
Yes.
All right, motion passes. Can we move to the next action item, please?
I'll move to approve the proposal from Community Matters Institute in the amount of $100 per hour for general planning services and $125 per hour for all development review services.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion is, now we're gonna discuss the planner. Art, what was your question?
My question is, is this company being hired as a contractor to take the responsibilities that Ellen had for the city of Idaho Springs?
That is correct. That is correct.
So that includes any prospective people, builders who want to come in and they'll present the projects to this company, and they'll analyze it much as Ellen would have analyzed it to determine the merits of it. Is that
is correct.
Okay, well, I have a problem with that.
Okay, let's keep the discussion going.
My question is, we do not plan to replace, Ellen, as a, you know, with a full-time employee as he was.
Do we have, right now, Art, with what's going on with the city, I would say at this moment, we would not hire a planner at this point. And we'll talk a little bit more about what the city has been talking about, how we're gonna have to move forward, and some of the options we've been talking about, with our employees. But as of, eventually we would have I would see, replacing with a full-time planner, but right now we don't have a timeline on that. So we'll just outsource all of our planning needs. We did this before Alan was here. It wasn't the best situation, but that's the way the city handled that before.
Well, I don't think before Ellen was here, from what I can determine, we had as many, situations that are gonna come up. And I think probably the reason you hired Ellen, and I'm only guessing because I wasn't involved in a lot of the city, functions at the time and issues. We probably wanted someone who was hands-on and a understanding completely of Idaho Springs, its residents, and how it operates. I don't believe a contractor will have the same interests, and I don't believe they will be able to grasp the issues of our city and what the people want or don't want. And I think it's a mistake for that part of it. And if we do hire them, I think those type of issues should be tabled till we get a permanent employee.
Not gonna happen. Unless council says no, business has to go on, and it has to continue on. We can't just stop everything that's going on, Art. We've got obligations to people that are doing things in this
I don't know how
community.
you're gonna explain to residents that you got people from the outside who have very little knowledge of our city, as Ellen has extreme knowledge, and go ahead and make plans based on individuals who belong to some institute and have how many other things going on outside their responsibilities for our little town. So, you know, you can tell me it's not gonna stop. I can tell you you're gonna have a big pushback on it, and I believe we're going in the wrong direction with that particular situation. That's my issue.
So I have a couple comments on what Art's saying. Art, I think, you know, we bring anybody in here, they're gonna have to get up to speed with city involvement and what's
Well,
going
yeah,
on.
they're
in the
gonna
city.
get up to speed, but they'll have more time, they'll be more invested, with the situation of the city for both sides.
Well, right now, we can't have any public
Everybody
hearings.
told me when I got onto the city council, this is really gonna be a tough year. We got a lot thrown at us, there's gonna be thrown at us. And I believe that's what's coming down the pipe. I think you all agree that's what's coming down the pipe. And I just don't believe people who don't have full knowledge or don't have the opportunity to work like Ellen did, how many hours a week within the city, to grasp all these things. I believe that you're going to put, that decision in people's hands that just won't have the ability to do it properly. That's all I'm saying. And I you know, I know it's, you know, I mean, a contractor is not an employee, and the vested interest is not there. That's it. I mean, that's a gimme.
So,
They can't give us what an employee would give us.
can I finish some of my comments, Art? So, I think your concerns are valid. What I was saying is, I'd like to see us possibly hire a full-time planner in the future. I don't know when that can happen. But I also agree we can't put a stop to everything just because we don't have a city planner.
Stop everything. I'm just saying.
We're
that
obligated to move these things along. We can't just say
decisions
no.
we made, I believe, because of the circumstances.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Say that again, Art.
That's all I have to say on it.
Okay, well, I think another valid concern is do we need to cap how many hours he's working at $100 or $125 an hour? Is that gonna be a problem if he gets into a project that runs into multiple hours? And what is our plan? Are we planning on trying to hire a full-time planner in the future?
At this
or-
point right now, Scott, I don't know what the direction of the city should be. We don't, right now, we can't even have public meetings. So nothing's gonna come to public hearings, at least for the next couple of months.
Right, so this is right now foreseeing out a few months anyways.
And Lee, and I'll go ahead and say something else. I'm gonna be very surprised if planners are gonna be interested in this community right now. Just because of what's going on. I think we're gonna have a hard time getting somebody. And I think that's why the outsourcing, you're getting somebody. And the firm, the lady Barb Cole, has some deep familiarity with Idaho Springs. She actually moved the train, she moved this building. She was here with the Downtown Improvement District. So she knows Idaho Springs. She doesn't know what's going on now. But the hour that we met with her, I'm very confident that she will be able to get up to speed and know what's going on. And we'll review and look at our.
Mike, this is Bob here. I will confirm that connection that Art has been talking about, but did you say Barbara Cole?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, I have confidence in her. I was involved when she was here many years ago, working for the city as a contractor.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think this moving forward, that the current environment, that we have to almost do this right now, it'd be nice to at least advertise down the road to see if we could get somebody interested. And I don't know where that's gonna be with our current environment, but.
But in the meantime, there's potential somebody could turn in something that a planner would have to look at, right?
Correct.
Sure.
Correct.
Well, I currently have a personal issue where I was trying to get a variance, and that has to involve a planner, right?
The variance is to involve the planner.
It does.
And we can always gauge if we don't think that if they're not catching on and understand our community and understand what we're doing. And
Before we pass on this issue, why don't we as people who are not familiar with these individuals have an opportunity to bring them to one of our meetings and have a conversation with them to see what who they are and what they think and things like that. Or does it have to be passed tonight?
comments, council?
We do have a lot of things pending, I believe, that have deadlines.
Well, that's a poor excuse. I think we should have the opportunity.
I think it's a perfect excuse. It's not an excuse, it's a fact.
It's a duty that we continue on these matters too, right?
We have to.
People, there's deadlines are moved all the time. Issues are often tabled, or delayed for one reason or another. So, what's the big deal for another 2 weeks?
So Art's question there is council a part of the hiring committee? If we were to hire someone, would they come forward?
That would go through a whole process. We would advertise, we would take whatever applications we got, we would narrow it down to 4 or 5, then we'd do a panel interview with them, and then we make a determination just like we did with Alan. And it was about a 3 to 4 month
I was
process.
gonna say nothing that's 2 weeks or.
No.
This
And
is a temporary deal.
This is a
little
temporary
different.
deal, and like I said, moving forward, we gotta realize, and this will come up later, well, I'll go ahead and talk about it now. We've lost March, folks, we've lost over $150,000 in sales tax revenue. We don't know what the next 2 months are gonna bring, 3 months are gonna bring. We've gotta figure out how we're gonna pay our employees. You know, are we gonna be able to keep all of them? Are we gonna have to furlough some of their time? Are we gonna force them to take PTO? You know, we've got a lot of decisions that we've gotta, you know, this is a critical situation. And to wait to hire, like I said, and the climate that we've got here in Idaho Springs right now, I think we're gonna have a hard time getting somebody on board that wants to work here.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be difficult.
It does seem like this is probably the safest move.
We're interim.
With what we've got going on right now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then if this doesn't work out, we can
We can always find somebody else,
Exactly.
or we could.
This is not a binding
And
contract.
I would say now, depending on how this coronavirus goes, and how far that puts us out to where we can get somewhat kind of back to normal and how we do things, we don't know how long that's gonna be. It could be 2 months, it could be 5 months.
I mean, this is what Art's talking about. If we agree to this tonight, we can still bring them forward to see how council feels about them after the fact. We can let them go.
Yeah, we,
Things aren't
It's a
working out.
contract.
we can suspend them at any time, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we still have control of all that.
Absolutely. They're not an employee. They'd be a contract.
Sure.
I didn't see any start and finish dates on the contract, right?
Can you hear them?
Well, it can,
No.
I believe it can go until December 31st.
That's right.
If
Oh,
we,
did
if we
it?
let it go that long.
And then it
I
can
picked
be-
up pieces.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, any more?
And the planning commission should be part of the,
Of course.
hiring
Yeah, and actually, from what I understand, Bill Mayer had a long and good conversation, with Ms. Cole today.
So where are we, Joe?
And I think it went very well.
Did he give a recommendation?
They may have lost them.
I'd have to look at what the email actually
I took
says.
that to you, Bob, but I think they hung up on me, he just happened to be.
We can hear you guys if you're able to hear us.
I'll let's dial in again, no problem. Yeah, that was, okay,
All right, maybe the thing.
Can you hear us?
thank you, Bob. Yeah, hope so, you bet, bye.
Dr. Kelly.
Has left the conference.
Robert Boland.
Has left the conference.
This woman worked for DOLA, when we were doing the Main Street projects. To get a note of it, I think that would be important, especially at these times, to keep the planning commission up to date. To what end, I suggest that we prepare a memo to the PC outlining all of the projects that we will likely be working on over the next 6 months, and to check in with them regarding any missing efforts. Bill loved this idea. My perception and recommendation from our discussion is that we try to better engage the PC. We can discuss this over the phone when you are available. Apparently site visits are not occurred for projects that will be reviewed by the PC. I think Bill is pleased and appreciates my willingness to listen. So she did have a phone conversation with the president or the chair of the planning commission. Any more discussion? Roll call.
Michael Hillman,
Yes.
Scott Pennell,
Yes.
Chuck Harmon,
Yes.
Has entered the conference.
Art, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm on the line now.
Robert Boland.
Has
We got a
entered the
roll.
conference.
You want to start roll call over, please?
Michael Hillman,
Yes.
Scott Pennell,
Yes.
Chuck Harmon,
Yes.
Bob Boland,
Yes.
John Curtis,
yes,
Art Cacavelli,
Nope.
Jim Clark.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. All right. We will now move down to no staff report, Chief, you want to talk real quick about what you submitted to us?
The report or the
Well, let's talk
daily?
about everything. Go ahead, your report, and let's
Okay.
talk about what we've been doing
Okay,
this
so,
last week.
the report, I'll refer you to my, council report. There's one amendment. We have the statistics. So for the period of March 5 and March 19th inclusive, the department responded to or initiated 328 calls for service. So we're running about 150 plus or minus calls a week, which is, I think, is pretty significant. We're not overburdened, but we don't have a lot of downtime. Year to date, through the 19th of March, we addressed 1,771 calls for service. And do you have a copy of the morning report? Did you all get a copy of the morning report?
Yeah, but we're in a separate envelope.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to start sending the morning reports to you via your emails every morning. So as far as the police department goes, our concentration of proactive enforcement, specifically traffic on the interstate, minor infractions in the city, are taking less of our time. We're putting more,
Robert Boland.
we are
Investor conference.
allocating more times to asset protection. So that includes the businesses, the residences, because now that we have a sleepy downtown, we feel that businesses around town are more vulnerable, especially to smash and grabs. So that's where the officers are spending a little bit more of their time. We initiated with the assistance of the United Church, or under the umbrella of the United Church, we started collecting money. Our first round of soup, 24 cases of soup, was purchased by the administrative staff, or the overhead team, I should say, the management staff for the city, and that's been distributed. So we have another order we're putting together right now, and maybe each week we'll ask different groups if they'd like to participate in that. The benefit of doing this through a business, a restaurant, is that we get the purchase at wholesale prices without any markup. So Katie Daly has been spearheading the distribution. Again, it doesn't seem like a lot, but our objective is that nobody goes hungry today, and we'll worry about tomorrow when tomorrow comes. So we'd like to stay on top of that. I'll leave it to the other division heads to talk about their segment of the morning report, if that's okay. Is there any questions? Yes, sir.
You worry about it in PPEs?
Yes, we have PPEs for our staff. The type of PPE we use is not something every department stocks all the time. So we had a little supply of face masks. They're not the right kind of face masks. So we were able to get an order in. Each officer is equipped with several of the face masks. Everybody should have their goggles or shooting goggles. So for that, in that respect, we're good. But our protocols have changed as well, as have EMS's. If we get a call that somebody is sick, we don't go in the house, because if that person's sick, there's a great possibility that everybody in the house may have been exposed. So we have them come out to us, and we do everything possible to encourage somebody in that household to bring them to the hospital if they need to go to the hospital. What we're finding is when they call their primary physician, they're pretty much telling them, you need to isolate yourself in your house and see which way this goes. People are getting ill with other illnesses other than the coronavirus, the common cold, other flus that necessarily would require them going to the hospital. So, doctors are listening to what folks are telling them, then they're making a determination, as is Crystal Brandt, who is the county's public health nurse. We put that information out almost daily. It's available on the city website. We still continue to work under the umbrella of the county incident management team, because we all want to be on the same page. So far things are going good in Idaho Springs. People are abiding by the the 6 foot, except me. Sorry, Andy.
Yeah.
I'm at probably like 5.5 feet, and not congregating. At least in the public places. We don't have a lot of control what's going on in people's private households, but we hope that people are adhering to the safety rules that the CDC and the county has been putting out. There was initially today, the mayor of Denver closed many other businesses, including liquor stores and the marijuana shops.
They reopened them.
That's what I was about to say. He rescinded that, and they're allowing.
Feel good.
What's that?
Take away your feel good stuff.
Well, the other point is that you close the liquor stores, but you allow people to buy beer and wine in grocery stores. So I think that he made a good choice in rescinding that.
So along with that, I've been putting posts out on Facebook, kind of keeping the community up to speed of kind of what's going on. We have taken for two reasons. One is we are a state statutory city. We're not a home rule, so we, I guess, Carmen said, as a council, we could actually do a lock-in place or do a shelter in place. Where home rules in places like the city and county of Denver, it's easy for the mayor just to do that. It's a little bit lengthier of a process. What I've been doing is just watching what the governor has been doing, following suit what Joe Polis has been doing, along with any recommendations by the president. So I've been keeping on top of that. We've been
So we
meeting.
have local jurisdiction to make our own decisions, is that?
It was kind of a, Carmen said we could, as a council, couldn't just as a mayor.
Or we can follow the state.
Or we should follow the state, and what they're doing, since we're a statutory city.
So we could possibly override something, or
I don't know if we can override
if the state orders it,
executive order
we
from the
can't
state.
go against it and say we don't wanna do that, we can't do that.
Home rule could, because they make up their own rules.
Okay.
So
It's best, it sounds like, if we follow the state.
I think that's kind of our best, unless we find an outbreak here where a couple of
Right.
people are
Where we
infected,
have
right?
to step in.
Then we would come back together as a council and make that decision. Completely doing a shutdown on all the businesses except for the liquor stores and the.
And then I have one more question, I don't know if this is time for it, but do we have any idea of test kits in this county and how those are,
There is a small quantity of test kits. We're not in a position that we can do mass testing, but there's a great deal of emphasis on producing those kits, and we think in a relatively short time there'll be kits that are available. The kits that are out there now, it takes days to get results, and the kits that they hope to have out in the field in mass sooner, 45 minutes, yeah. So bringing that up, that's a good point. So everybody who's listening tonight in council, just be leery of people that are marketing these test kits, especially if they say you can test in the house and you'll get results like other test kits. Unless they're approved by the CDC, I would be leery of any kits.
And some of the kits that they're talking about, the 45-minute ones, look like pregnancy tests, where you put something on it, changes color, and tell you if you're infected or not. So.
Chief, I have a question, and I hope it's not an unfair one, because
Yes,
I
sir.
realize nobody has a crystal ball. But
Of course.
do you have a pretty high level of confidence about being able to obtain masks for first responders?
Oh yeah, their first responders are the priority. So Jane Thomas with the county is working on resupplying. We have additional masks coming, but they're back ordered. We don't expect them until the first week of April. So each of our officers has 3 masks. There are ways to sterilize them. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's frowned upon, in the medical community. But if push comes to shove. But our best defense is not put ourselves in that environment. We stay out of large groups. Again, we don't go into homes unless we absolutely have to. And the guys are using good, common sense and good judgment.
So you think we'll get by with what we have for 9-10 days until we
Yep.
get a resupply?
Yep, I think we've been very fortunate. And to be honest with you, if we're in a pinch, Office of Emergency Management, they'll help us out.
And Chief, is the count still around that you're aware of 2
The
in the county?
the latest report that I've received is that there are 2 confirmed, and a number of people who are essentially sheltering in place. There's the possibility they haven't been tested, but once again, when they call their doctor and they say, "Look, I feel fluish," they're saying, "Isolate yourself." And I think that's really the best option for us right now.
and then they give them a few more days to see if there's
Yep.
follow-up symptoms to that?
Yep, if they're not feeling well. But there are other things. I mean, if there are folks that they're not feeling well and they have a history of respiratory or cardiac ailments, or if they're elderly, theirs is a little different. Those folks might be requested to come in and get tested and get medical treatment.
So what we're doing right now is at 9 o'clock in the morning, we're meeting with the department heads, and we're just kind of regrouping what we've heard on the news, what our next steps are. So we are making some pretty quick and aggressive decisions day by day, just to make sure that we're following suit and protecting this community like we should be.
Well done.
So, and the chief's putting out a report on a daily basis about steps that we've taken, steps that we're going to move forward doing. And
Thanks for keeping us informed.
Yeah, I've seen some of your posts. Is the county also posting some stuff? 'Cause
They're behind the game. I had a conversation with Sheriff Albers today, and they did have a plan in place. It didn't work out exactly the way they thought, so they're stepping up their game. They're bringing in some new talent, and they're gonna start communicating, as we do. So.
it'd be nice to see something proactive on their end to keep the county
Yeah,
informed.
I will tell you this, because we're on the periphery of this, the management team. They are working. They're doing their best for us at a bigger scale. Of course, they're concerned about when the time comes for medications and distribution. How we're going to do that. So they're all working. Their Office of Emergency Management is geared up, as well as the health department. And they're operating countywide under a unified command, which the duties are split between Cindy Dickin, Department of Health, and Sheriff Albers, who has oversight of most of the in-county emergencies. So I'm pretty confident they're on their game.
The other entity that there was some concern about was the hot springs and how many people they were having in their pool over there, which could be a problem. I reached out personally to the owners and met with the owners on Saturday, I believe, and they said that they would stay in compliance, under 10 people. And the chief and the other officers are just kind of going by there and looking, and we're not seeing but just a few cars out there. So we feel that they're doing their duty to comply with the regulations. All right. Anything else, council, that you'd like to bring to the table and talk about? All right. Staff, do you have anything, John? We'll talk about one more thing real quick. We have been discussing how much longer this would move forward and how we are going to keep all of our employees either staffed through all of this. Do we look at maybe seeing if somebody wanted to take some personal time off and use their PTO, which we're paying, or laying off, which that's not something that I say lightly. If we do a furlough, which would mean that everybody during the pay period would take 1 day off unpaid. So instead of working 10 days, they would work 9 days. And really haven't sat down and put the numbers to how much money savings that would generate. I'm not convinced that it's going to be a huge number. But we're gonna, in the next few weeks, we're gonna get into some crunch time with the city. We're gonna have to make some tough decisions and look at our budget again, try to determine how much we're losing in sales tax revenue, because that's what we run off of, and then make some decisions after that.
Who's gonna be looking at those numbers? Would that be Andy or?
Well, until we really get our sales tax runs 2 months behind.
Right.
So we're just gonna kind of have to, Andy is gonna try to look at an average of $20 an hour. If somebody takes a day off of 8 hours, that's $160 a day times 5 days a week. It's $80.
We've lost like 80% of any downtown tax. So we can estimate what it's gonna be.
Yeah, it's gonna be huge. And we still have obligations that we have with the city that we have to take care of.
So, one thing, like you said, one thing that we could take immediate action on is trying to have staff take 1 day off every 2 weeks right now. That action, the sooner you take action.
We were gonna wait another week to see how this. Diane had Kelsey stay at home today, right? Is that correct? But we didn't know if that was gonna be paid or unpaid. So those were some of the things that we need to hash out, put a plan together, and bring back to council of how we're gonna move forward with this. Any other thoughts, council, staff? All right. It is 7:45, so much for my 15-minute meeting. Meeting adjourned. Thanks everybody for coming.
can't remember that. Oh, this is gonna be, we're out. This is gonna be,
Yeah.
we're out.
My wife's a good one.
At all? You did yet?
So there's a new board member.
Have a good one.
So,
You too.
Take care, John.
You too, John. Next meeting.
Take care, guys.
Take care. Oh, I gotta stand here.
You got a what?
Yeah.
Hard, Scott.